Hi. I'm a crooked and teetery as usual. How you doing? It's another beautiful day. It's just past 11:11, the perfect time to teeter about, tuck and roll, do a little checking in with the alignment and the stretches and the stresses. I am just having a challenging time with that. There we go. Hey, hi. Welcome to Fit and Free with me. I'm Angel, here to be silly and sing my life a little bit and invite you to join me if you feel like it, to whatever degree feels good in your body. I like to remind you there's not one right way or one wrong way to check in with your body. It's about doing things regularly, hopefully having a good time while you're doing it. Letting go of some stress. Hey, Nikki, yes, let's do some stretching together. Again, I remind you, do what feels good in your body. Above all, listen to your own body. You're welcome to follow along with me in my crazy routine that I'm going to just go about making up on the fly, because that's how I like to do things. So, feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. The further I get into this beautiful morning, I'm going to take a breath or so and just bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet, making sure not to lock my knees, hanging myself from the center of the universe, stretching the spine out. Let's do some side-to-side stretches. One direction, stretch, and the other direction, stretch. Coming back to center. Forgot to put a belt on, so I'm going to have to do lots of britches adjusting. That's some good first world problems there. I'm going to, again, making sure not to lock those knees. I'm going to swan dive down into a forward fold from the hips, coming all the way down toward the floor, bending the knees as needed to put my hands on the floor. I'm just enjoying a nice relaxing sigh, shaking out the shoulders, shaking out the back, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back. And then pushing from the bottoms of those feet, I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, coming again into that counter stretch. Just lifting the eyes and arms and chest, relaxing the belly, pushing the hips forward. Just enjoying that counter stretch. And coming back to center. Whoa, as I recenter myself, and I'm going to bend from the waist this time as opposed to from the hips. So if I say put your hands on your hips, you probably put them on your waist, more or less. I'm going to round the spine from the waist, pulling back in the abdomen, up in the pelvic floor, left elbow over right to start, and just give myself a nice hug, rounding the whole spine. Just giving a squeeze to those shoulders or arms if possible, wherever feels good, wherever feels like it kind of wants a squeeze. Sometimes that's up in my neck, often. Just really enjoying that rounded sensation, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, pulling the shoulder blades apart, pushing into that roundness, and then I'm going to release all that from the hips again. All the way down toward the floor. Again, relaxing the belly, coming down past the waist to the hips, and just hanging the upper body from the lower body. Shaking that out a little bit. Let's pull over to the left a little, and over to the right a little, because that feels good, and then back to center. And I'm going to roll on up. Just checking in with the spine. Shaking off some shoulders, and I'm going to give myself another hug, this time right elbow over left. Again, let's do the britches adjustment, and then pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, right elbow over left, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, just giving myself a nice good morning hug or good afternoon squeeze, whatever the case is. Now that I got this elbow on top, I can give this little trapezius muscle a little extra love, because it's been crying out to me. There you go. Ka-chunk. We'll get all the ka-chunks out. Just enjoying that rounded sensation through the spine, really pushing into that. And then releasing all that again from the hips, coming down toward the floor, bending the knees if need be. Just letting go of the shoulders and the hips and the arms and the neck and the head. Relaxing the belly. Relaxing the back. Give that a little rub. So let's do a little body check coming down the backs of the legs. Just saying hello. Checking in with everybody. Check in with the backs of the ankles. Come around. Check in with the toes. Bend your knees if you want to or need to say hello to those toes. Checking in with the fronts of ankles. Say hi to the kneecaps. I'm rolling up slowly. Checking in with the fronts of the thighs. Checking with those reproductive organs, the digestive organs, the circulatory organs, all those useful bladders and sphincters and things doing all kinds of good stuff for me. Hello, body. Hello, Michael and Nikki. I hope you're doing good today. I am silly as usual. Happy to say. Feeling better today than I did yesterday, which is becoming my favorite thing to say. So, yay! Let's do a little bit more strengthening. I'm going to step back with this left foot first, just because I like to keep track by starting on the left. No other reason than that. And keeping the feet on relatively parallel lines, I'm going to be pulling the hips onto a relatively perpendicular line. Pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back. Tucking the tailbone under a little bit. Checking that that front knee isn't crunching past the front toes. Pushing into that back heel. Relaxing the shoulders. Something I have to remind myself to do very often. Just enjoying this nice, long, strong sensation through the core, supported with the abdomen and the back. Let's give those a nice little tap, tap, tap. Hello. Just checking in with everybody there. You could try tapping and rubbing at the same time. Nope. I got to get one going and then the other. It's good for the brain there. Just challenge yourself. Try some. So I have one tapping hand and one rubbing hand, clearly. They're like, oh yeah, we can do that as long as you don't require any change. Now I've gotta see if I can do it. Ooh, that's messy. I'm gonna keep it up though. How about you? Did you succeed? Or are you getting some feedback that that's something you could practice more? It's ongoing in my world. I could definitely use more practice. That's what I'm here for. Pushing more into this back heel. I'm going to slide that heel out a little bit further. Still pulling the hips onto that perpendicular line. Still relaxing the shoulders. I'm going to bring the arms up. Still making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. And then push onto that diagonal line. Getting into a deeper lunge. Still pushing into that back heel. Bringing that energy through the spine, out the fingertips. Just enjoying that nice diagonal sensation. And I'm going to keep moving that back foot out, continuing to try to push into that heel, but eventually I'm going to come up onto the toe as I run out of capacity to push into that heel, and slowly coming down lower, bringing both hands on either side of this front leg for a nice deep lunge there. And now on that back toe, still feet in parallel, still pulling those hips into the perpendicular line. And then I'm going to straighten this front leg, draping the upper body over the lower body, still pulling those hips onto that perpendicular line. Aiming my chin for my toes, just enjoying a nice long upper body draped over a nice long lower body or half a lower body. It's a leg. I'm going to bring weight onto these hands and bring that front foot back to meet the back foot. Slide that pillow out of my way and then pushing through the palms, through the spine, tucking the tailbone under, or actually not under, tucking the tailbone toward the back of the head, the opposite of under, and pushing into these heels, pushing the heart toward the earth. Just enjoying that Triangle or tent or downward facing dog pose, whatever you like to call it. You can make up your own name for it. It's okay. I'm going to swing the body forward, keeping these legs together but wiggling them out a little, keeping the butt together to protect the low back, and lifting the arms and eyes and chest, making sure not to sink in those arms, and just spend a moment relaxing the belly. Just kind of let the belly sag again. Try not to sag in those arms and really getting a nice stretch through the front of the body. I'm going to look behind the body over the left shoulder to increase that stretch on the other side. And then back to center, and then looking over the right shoulder. Just enjoying that stretch through the front of the body, back to center, and then lifting the hips again, pushing back through the palms into the heels, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heart toward the earth, in a little bit of a deeper downward facing dog or triangle pose now. And I'm going to swing that left foot forward in between the hands for a nice deep lunge on that side. I like to give it a little bit of a bounce. Don't bounce if you don't like bouncing. That's my general rule. Feel free to bounce if you do like bouncing. Simple as. I'm going to step forward with this back foot into another forward fold and just again relax the belly, release the back. Let gravity do some unwinding. I'm going to roll up nice and slow again, pushing from the bottoms of the feet. Just checking in with the spine, one vertebra at a time. Shake that out. Do a little britches adjustment, and then stepping back with the right foot or the other foot from wherever you started before. I'm going to pull the hips again onto the perpendicular line, pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back, tucking the tailbone under a little bit, checking that that front knee isn't crunching past the front toes, and pushing into that back heel. Just sliding that back heel out a little bit more, still maintaining that nice long and strong sensation through the core. I'll give myself a little burping in there, apparently. Just checking in with the drum capacity. The drunk capacity is full because I haven't been drunk in a long while. Happy to say. Let's just give a little more hard tapping back there because that feels good. Remember to tuck and roll if you go over. Self. Still just eking that back foot out into a deeper and deeper lunge, still pulling the hips onto the perpendicular line, pulling forward with the back hip and back with the front hip. I'm going to raise the arms, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders, and then push onto the diagonal line, pulling that, pushing that heel out just a little bit more, looking for that diagonal energetic line out the heel, through the spine, out the fingertips. I'm just enjoying that for a breath or so. I'm going to keep eking that back foot out, except for that I've hit a notebook. It's a common scenario in my life, so I'm going to have to wiggle it over a little bit. There we go. Coming down a little further and bringing both hands down on either side of that front foot. Coming onto that back toe, just enjoying a nice deep lunge. And then I'm going to straighten that front leg, pushing again into the back heel and draping the upper body over the lower body. Still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Aiming my chin for my toes. Just enjoying a nice long upper body. Draping over a nice long half a lower body. Or a leg, as it's sometimes called. Yes, I'm still silly. Bringing both hands on the either side of that front leg. I'm going to bring weight onto those hands and bring that front foot back to meet the back foot. Pressing through the hands, palms are wide, fingers are wide, palms are strong. Pressing my heart toward the center of the earth. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. pressing into those heels. Let's tread the heels a little bit. Bending the right knee, pressing into the left. Bending the left knee, pressing into the right. And again, pressing into the left. And pressing into the right. Pressing into both heels, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Pressing the heart toward the earth. Getting a nice stretch on all sides of the body. All sides. I'm going to swing the upper body forward, lifting the chest through the shoulders, eking those legs back, keeping the butt together, keeping the legs together. That protects the low back. And lifting through the eyes, chest, letting the belly sag. Can stick out the tongue and make a funny noise if you feel like getting into it even a little more. Like that. Let's hear you. Come on, you can do it. Nobody can hear you. Unless you're live streaming like me, and even then, it's okay. It's okay to be silly, I say. You have my permission. I'm going to gaze back over each shoulder again. Putting those feet back together. I notice they're not. Just getting a nice stretch through the front of the body. Pushing up through the palms, through the shoulders. And then lifting the hips again, pushing back through the palms, through the spine. Try not to step on my notebook. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. And then I'm going to step forward with that right foot in between the hands into a nice deep lunge. Again, enjoying a little bounce because I like bouncing. Have myself a heavy sigh there as well because I can and I like to. You do what you like to. I'm going to step forward with that back foot. Coming again into a forward fold, relaxing the belly. Just letting gravity do some unwinding. And then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, lifting the eyes, arms and chest, pushing the belly and hips forward. And just enjoying that counter stretch. Relaxing the belly, relaxing the back, and then coming back to front and center. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's hard to be anything but enamored with a beautiful day like today. So I hope you're getting some on you. Hope you're keeping your britches adjusted accordingly. Remembering to love yourself, remembering that life is much too important to take it too seriously. So lighten up a little, let go of some stress a little. There'll be plenty more where that came from. You don't need to hang on to all of it. I'm going to keep working on my clap snaps, slowing them down as much as I need to. We'll still keep working on it. It's great to see you, great to be seen. Don't forget that you are worthy of your own unconditional love. First, foremost, always and always. I hope you're out there changing yourself for the better, and in that way you'll be changing the whole world for the better. So all you got to do is be you. Thanks for stopping by.